Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Moreniké Speaks. If you are here, this means that hopefully you watched part 1 and part 2 of this episode. This is a 3-part episode of me explaining a particular situation between me and a few other parties involved, and how these experiences shaped the way I view things and how it's affected my mind and overall how I navigate through me becoming an artist, and just important attributes to my development as a person. Technically, there was not supposed to be multiple videos, but I realized that I wanted to give a clear and concise perspective, and with that comes with adding as much detail as I can to the story. So please forgive me for taking so long to express this story, but it was long overdue. And if you are here, that means that episode 1 and episode 2, and if you haven't, you won't be able to fully understand and grasp the entirety of the story. So please watch episode 4, part 1 and part 2, because it's just one episode. Also, there is going to be an episode 5 dropping within the month that we'll go over some of the things that I talk about in this video. It's an interview with my ex, and I wanted to be able to express part of our story as well, so that viewers can have an understanding of that experience that I endured with her and our experience together before watching that video. So if you are here, I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos and listen to more of my story and listen to more of my journey. And please watch episode 1, the introduction to Moreniké Speaks, if you're a new viewer as well, so that way you can get acquainted to the reason why I made this channel and what's its intentional purpose. And yeah, so without further ado, let me get back to the story, and it's going to just jump right in from where we left off in part 2. So again, thank you so much for watching Moreniké Speaks. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, or you just want to give me feedback, or you want to tell me about myself, that is welcomed. Please leave a comment below, and thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of this video. Oh my God. So I just realized that a part of this was not recording. So I just said some shit that was not recording. But anyway, I don't know where where I left off at was, because I'm not about to go into all of that again, because like that, I just did that and it wasn't recording. Oh my God. But basically, I just became very obsessive and obsessive with getting justification for her doing that to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like none of the energy that she was giving in these interviews and energy that she would be giving on her TikToks and things like that. I never experienced that silly, fun, sisterly love type of person. I didn't experience that. So I became obsessed with her acknowledging that and setting the record straight, and I think that's why I said, like, I don't know if it's because of part of my autism. And I hope I didn't miss anything, because I literally just said, I was talking for like 7 minutes just now, and none of that was recording. But I just want to basically say, it's like, you have to think about the mindset that I had, like everything that I had already went through with people and friends. And now I'm at the space where I'm like, yo, I'm talented and I want to pursue my talents. And she was the first person for me to see to actually pursue talents and gain some like type of success from it by actually working hard doing it. You feel me? And I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing. When I grew up, my mom and dad, like, remember, there was no social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom and dad grew up, pushing, like, we were far-fetched from thinking that, like, being anything of an actress or creative in any sense was going to get you some fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I grew up. I didn't grow up. I grew up very old school, like, even these new age people, like, I I didn't get my first ever cell phone till I was 13 years old, which was the Razor flip phone. Okay, that's what I'm saying. They didn't even have cell phones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm 30 years old, so I'm 30 years old right now. Year 2020 24. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30. So during those times, I didn't have, like, we didn't have that. But your favorites now, when they were 14, they was posting YouTube channels. You feel me? They was heavy on YouTube, like, to even know to like content and create content and stuff like that. So we live in different times, and it's like, you know, you never want to. We should never just be comparing ourselves. We should just acknowledge people for where they are at in their journey. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just didn't think, you know, like, you know, I didn't know that the person that she was being, like, I didn't experience that person, and I just wanted it to be justified. I wanted her to acknowledge she was a fucking mean girl to me, and it was very weird, and it's not fair. And it's like, all this time, that's another thing that I said in the message, that I probably never did I discredit her talent. I've never discredited her talent, even when I would talk on my shit and say everything that I felt on Twitter or whatever the fuck. I never discredited her talent, like her God-given talent. Like, I almost love that shit. You feel me? And so it's like, you know, but the lack of response and the blocking me, you know what I'm saying? Because every time, you know, even she would block me, and that's what I said. Another thing I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but like, I just was so, it was really sad for me to see me, because I went back and looked at myself, and like, it was really sad to see me so obsessed with getting her to acknowledge this part of her, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what that is about. I don't know if it was about, like, you know, just, you know, like, maybe because I don't know. I have to, like, I mean, I've looked at that very deeply, but it's like, I may not be able to find the words right now, but it just was so sad for me to need her to acknowledge that part so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I became bitter. Like, that anger and hurt became to bitterness. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't listen to her music ever, even though I wanted to. Like, I love her as an artist. I can't listen to her because it just reminds me, even though as I'm talking shit and I'm rapping with her, I'm like, this bitch done fucking blocked me, bro. And she told the world that I'm delusional and crazy and insane for the actual experiences that I experienced with her. Like, how can I listen to her music and then yet alone think about the insecurity that it creates for me, right? And she's making music talking about some, you know, you can't compete where you don't compare, this and that. You know, that all of that is affecting me. I'm not gonna lie. And this is, like I said, I want to be very vulnerable. I want to be very fucking vulnerable, and I want to be honest. Like, you know, I came into an understanding that I want to pursue my creative talents, you know what I'm saying? And in my reality, I'm thinking that's why she's in my life. That's why God put her in my life. That's why these things lined up in my life. I was always around artistic friends and things like that to showcase the reflection of who I am, you know what I'm saying? And so I thought, you know, it'd be so different, but this girl did not like me, bro. And it's like, it just hurt me, you know what I'm saying? Because the reality was that she was never going to apologize for the way that she was during that time, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted her so bad to, like, so bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted her to so bad, and she never, you know, never did. And I would constantly talk about it. I would go to my fake pages. I had like 3 or 4 fake pages, but I have my only one goddess page. I have my Prosperity page, which is my styling business account. And I have all these different pages that I would, like, try to reach out to her from, which is sad, like, really sad to even think that I would still go somewhere where I'm not wanted. And, you know, and that has to do with, like, that has to be some type of psychological deficiency or some shit, because, like, it's just insane, you know? But I really, because I also feel very connected to her still to this day, you know what I mean? Like, I also felt so connected to her, and, like, just the things, everything just felt so connected, like, you know, like fun fact, you know, like, one of my lucky days, you know, if you're into, like, astrology and things like that, I'm a Scorpio sun in an Aries moon, which is also, you know, she's an Aries moon, right? And also, like, you know, the Tuesday is one of, like, my most luckiest day, and that's, like, her whole thing. And it was just so many different, remember I told you I'm on acid. You know how you perceive your regular life? I am, like, living like I'm on acid, because I've unlocked a level of consciousness, and I see this world for what it is. But this is my experience, and this is my journey, and that's the issue, right? I'm having this experience, I'm having this journey, and it's not being perceived that way through other people. You feel me? So anyway, hey Tiny, wanna say hi? Say hi. Bye bye. You just said something. But yeah, so it's just I just thought it was one a reason why I met her and da 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 blah blah blah. So anyway, fast forward then 2021 came basically, and my mother passed in February. And to this day, this is it's inexplicable. I can't even describe to you the pain that it is of losing a parent, and I don't think anybody can explain until, like, nobody can understand until you go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's a challenge. It's something that you have to truly try to adapt to in your life. And I'm not this is not about that, but like basically my mother passed. Okay, during this time, right before that, I had met this girl. Now, this is my ex. I met this girl, on Instagram. 2020, I came to Florida, Tampa, Florida. I basically, was on Twitter, Instagram. What are you doing, boy? I was on Twitter, Instagram, and I was like, on my search, I saw this guy. His name is Yizim. Yizzy the Great. I love him so much. But I was like, oh my gosh, you live in Florida? I didn't know that there were any like artists and creative in Florida, blah, blah, blah. So I went to a video shoot, and through him, I met a whole bunch of people in Tampa, Florida. And so through me connecting with different people, mutuals, blah, blah, blah. So there was this girl on Instagram who was looking for dancers to dance in her video. I hit her up. We ended up DMing each other, and we were DMing for a little bit, and then we ended up meeting. Our first time meeting each other was Tripston. This is my ex, okay? We first met at Trips Diner, and we were supposed to have a meeting. And then I was just really attracted to her. Like, I was really attracted to her. The it was such a vibe. Like, we just had such a vibe. Like, we were talking the whole time. We didn't even talk about the fucking thing we were supposed to be talking about. Like, we just got to know each other. She paid for my meal. It was very giving, very cute. Like, oh gosh, it's crazy. um and so like, even that first day, like, after that, we weren't ready for the meeting to be over, so we ended up going to this park, and we walked a trail in the park and talked, and like, we sat down in front of the water and we talked. And I even remember telling her about this situation. Like, it was always on my mind. Like, it was always, not always on my mind, but like, it was a huge part of you know the frustrations that I experienced within, like, wanting to pursue music, because I feel inadequate, not only because I am I am learning, I do lack a lot of skill at this point, and blah dee blah 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 blah, you know what I'm saying? But also, somebody who's been able to gain success from this suns me in any type of way that she can. Like, so think about what that does to a person who wants to pursue the same thing that she's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's going to deteriorate your mind. It's going to make you feel like, like you nah, she really does this, and bitch, you don't. Because you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're gonna go to those thoughts within yourself. You feel me? And so, like, it was affected my mind a lot. Like, and that's just my truth. Like, maybe that's why the obsession came, because like, part of me, her acknowledging what she did will give more truth and reason to, like, why my lack of efforts or some, you know what I mean? I think I just was so focused on, like, wanting her to acknowledge that part, so I don't feel crazy. And I don't want to say so I don't feel crazy, but it would, so I don't feel crazy for being so in love with her talent, and in love with the talent that she possesses, and like, in love with her, who she is, the person that she's projecting. Because the person that you're projecting, this fun ass fucking quirky person that I thought we could be friends with, I didn't experience that version of you. You know what I'm saying? So it just, my mind was just fucked up. So I remember telling that to her, and also my ex girlfriend, like I said, she was an artist, so she reasoned with me with that, da da da. Um, so yeah, and so yeah, so basically through that time, through mutuals, now I'm about to introduce Gator. Like, so, me and my ex relationship, like, as like she was the first person basically I called when my mother passed away. Like, she was the first person I called when my mother passed away. She came to get me. I was literally laying on the floor on the street. Like, she came to get me, and through that time she was like, stay. She was staying like a week. Like, she would come every day after work, and like, I don't know, but I'm not. I low key want to do a whole nother video for my ex, because that's just a whole thing. You feel me? Um. So anyway, but through her mutuals, I just remember being on Instagram, and I remember seeing this fucking girl on Instagram. I saw this girl on Instagram, and it was this video. It was her "What's her name" video. What's your name? Da, 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 da. And she was in this silver outfit with this blonde hair. And I went to her page. I'm like, what the fuck? We had 70, it was like 77 mutual followers. So obviously I followed her, and I'm like, who is this girl? I'm like falling, like, I fall in love, like literally in love with the character that God has created, because we are all what God has intended us to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I just was enamored by her. And there was this one video I heard her, like, she was recording in the studio. She was screaming, and I'll show these screenshots too. I'll show these screenshots, but because I remember the day that I did it was like 2021, early in the year, and it was like she was screaming at these and the producer, blah, 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 and I was like, yo, I want to make love. I want to kiss passionately. Like, I was so attracted to her, and I was like, who is this girl? Da, da, da. Come to find out, my ex-girlfriend, which is, I'm gonna just call her my ex, that is her mutual friend. Like, that was her friend, Gator. It was her friend. Her best friend at the time was dating Gator, basically. Her boy, Boy Toy. I'm gonna call him Boy Toy. So my ex's best friend was Boy Toy, and Boy Toy was dating Gator. Okay, so they had all been cool, and it was just so crazy because it's just so crazy how you see my life. Like, do you see my life? Like, come on now. Like, you feel me? Like this is really my life. This is really what happened. Like, this is genuinely what happened. Okay. So basically, my ex girlfriend was best friends with Boy Toy and Gator, and they also had history. Apparently, like, Gator and my ex had hooked up or whatever one time. Da 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 da. So I used to, like, now me and my ex, we officialized our relationship with, like, in July. You know what I'm saying? We were dating all that time for like January, and then we officially became together like in July. I remember because I went to Chicago, and like it was just real. It was a whole thing or whatever. So during that time though, I would always mention Gator, and like I would see her artwork or whatever, and I would always mention her in stores. And this is the time. This is before she had double digit followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like, I think this is before Yucky Blucky Fruit Cake or something blew up or whatever. Like, this is before all of that. Um but I was mentioning her. Oh no, yeah. So I was mentioning her because it happened, I think, around the same time or some shit. It happened around the same time, whatever. But I would be mentioning her and like commenting, and she never responded to me. Never responded to me, bro. And it just made me feel weird because it's like we have mutual followers, and not only are we mutuals, you're actual friends with my girlfriend. You're actual friends with my girlfriend. Like, the girl, they never talked, but like when my girlfriend would call Boy Toy, I mean Gator would be like, yo, what's up? Da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't call her out of the blue or call her like actual friends, but they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were acquainted. They were friends. That's how my ex would always describe it. You know what I'm saying? And like, whatever. So but it just felt very odd to me. Now, through self-reflection, it made me feel like Gator didn't, it was like, how like the etiquette of Twitter and social media and things like that. So if you interact with the post, everybody who follows you is going to see the person that you interact with. So it was giving, I don't want to interact with your post because I don't want anybody else to interact with you or see, because I can't understand. And maybe this is far fetched. I am willing to take accountability in that. I really am. But I'm going to give all perspectives so you, as the audience and the consumer of this story, can gain get whatever thoughts you feel. You feel me? But it was giving like, because why on earth do we have 70 mutual, meaning you're going to receive a notification from me more than you're going to receive a notification from a random person. Never did she ever, I would say so much about her. And I never said anything to get a response back. It was just me acknowledging that I never got a response back. Ever. So it's like, we have over 70 something mutual followers, and you don't see none of my messages. What you're trying to tell me, bro? You trying to tell me you don't see none of my messages, okay? Like, that shit was so fucking weird, bro. So also, so this year, this was the year that, like, I had already done White Girl before, if you know White Girl or whatever. I've already done that before, and back in Atlanta with a friend of mine, whatever. But like during this year, like when my mom died, like it just was a little bit heavier. You feel me? And then also my ex, she was a white girl head. Like, she loved White Girl. Like, she, you know what I'm saying? Not like obsessed with it, but like, me, I would just be like bumpity bump, you know what I mean? Bumping the White Girl. Yeah. And she, wanted to take the White Girl out for whole line dances and shit. You feel me? So it's like, they would always go line dancing. You feel me? Like real long line dances. You feel me? And so basically, I think I was just a part of me just numbing myself, because I had a little money from my mom passing, and I just was doing anything and everything to just make myself feel good. And like, this was just a horrible time for me. So I was just like, well, I don't want to say horrible. It was a horrible time. Period. It was just a horrible time. I just was just doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And me and my girlfriend had issues because, she was so big on being, everything being perceived and like perception of others, and her as an artist and dada d and dada do, and like that's another thing, like, um later that year, before we even went to New York, she basically she did this show for this group in Tampa called Barely Legal, and this is one of their first, like, this is the big performance that they had, one of their biggest performance, I think, you know what I'm saying? And this is when everybody peeped, like, okay, these people are really gonna be doing some shit with their lives and with their artistry, because it was a very great turnout. And from then, because my girlfriend was an opportunist, and she wanted to become, like, she latched herself onto their group, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go into this particular situation because I feel like it's just going to be so long, but I also want to mention it so that way you can have a little bit of background to go off of if you are a fan of me and you watch this episode and you watch the next episode, which when I have an interview with my ex-girlfriend, and she basically just latched on, and we had a lot of friction, because even times where I thought she would show up for me, she was so gung-ho on building this relationship with this group, you know what I mean, to where, like, I didn't even matter, you know what I'm saying? She really wanted to acquaint herself with this group, because I felt like she wanted to align herself with people who are going to go places. And I'm a beginner as an artist. I don't even really know how to create a functioning song. I'm just like, doing, just going off of the little talent that I have and creating that into something, you know what I'm saying? And they're calculated. These people who are becoming successful, they're calculated, they're intentional, and just all these different attributes that is required for you to be a successful artist. And I saw that she was trying to align herself with these people, but it almost felt like she befriended them at the expense of our relationship, because one of the dudes, the main guy, was going through his relationship problems, and me and her would go through our relationship problems, and they would just use each other to trauma bond, you know what I mean? And just a whole bunch of shit that happened with that situation, you know what I'm saying? But basically, fast forward, September, you know, not potato, but mind you, I'm paying attention now. This is something crazy, universal shit. Gator had a show basically in New York or some shit like that, and so my girlfriend at the time wanted to go and see the show or whatever. She was like, I wish I could go. Da, da, da. So I'm like, fuck it. I have money. Like, let's fucking go. You know, it was New York Fashion Week. So I put up a whole bunch of looks for us to go. And I wanted to go. So I literally like did a whole thing. Like, we stayed in New York for like almost 2 weeks. You know, the first week we were in Brooklyn and we were at this kind of like janky hotel, but that's because she had booked the hotel and she didn't know that it was like that. And then the second week, you know, I booked a hotel us in Times Square. I took her to see The Lion King, you know, on Broadway. We had this little fucking thing come and like pick us up, like this the guys on the bike, the little carriages or whatever, like, you know, and it was so we rolled through New York Times Square. But it was just like, this was my first time ever in life coming to New York. She's been to New York before, you know, but like this was like life, like things I used to dream about, like being in New York City, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was on vacation, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like wanting to experience like truly being in New York. But my fucking girlfriend was pressed about trying to be with them or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Be with Gator and Boy Toy or some shit, you know what I'm saying? And also she kind of affected me because I wasn't being my full self because I didn't want to seem like I'm being too thirsty, because she's so big on like not doing too much, and like my girlfriend, like she, you know, so it just created so much shit in my mind. And you know, so we finally basically the day before we meet up with, because we were in New York a couple days before the event, because that's how the whole reason why we came essentially was to go to see her perform. So you know, we basically like before we're on the fucking train and da 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 da. Me and my ex girlfriend get into this huge fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Because she's talking to me so fucking weird. She was like, "Let me just do it," da 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 da, like just be talking to me crazy. And like I'm like, so I went the fuck off of her. You know what I'm saying? Then she was like, "You're lucky I don't leave you here at this fucking train station." Da da da. Like, well, I'm pretty sure her just conscience couldn't let her, because I was so in a foreign place. I do not know how to New York bus transits or any of the subway works. You know what I'm saying? So her consciousness could not let her leave me. But I know she wanted to, because I'm pretty sure she wanted to just go with them, so that way she wouldn't have to. Because that's another thing. People who are not themselves, like she's herself with me, but she's always she's always has a mask on with other people, so it's gonna look super, you feel me, like crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like she don't want to seem crazy or whatever. So we had an argument before that time, and we finally get to the hotel to where Boy Toy and what's the name, Gator is staying. So then they come out, and then they, you know, they're like, they say hi. I already knew Boy Toy. I'm acquainted with Boy Toy, but I didn't really know what's the name. And mind you, I'm a little iffy because, like, girl, all this time you haven't seen any of my messages, you haven't seen any of me repulsing you or anything like that. So, you know, she's like, "Oh, you look super cunt," or something. And this is before I even knew the term cunt. And like I said, I'm a nerd. I'm not hip to the times or whatever the fuck. Like, as you can see by me even saying that statement, hip to the times is a very old school thing to say. Like, I'm just not a part of like the Gen Z generation. You know what I'm saying? I'm millennial, but I'm like not. I don't know all the terms and shit. So before this, I'm just like me, you feel me? I have grills. I had grills on that have fangs, and like, you know, I'm just me. That's why I said a lot of people get distorted, because I'm so dope, and like I'm super dope and like aesthetically pleasing and really fun to look at. But I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? I'm not like, you know. So I said, and then mind you, also another thing, going out with the white girl, that should make you real angry. You feel me? That should be making you real angry, and like it enhances your energy and shit. So, you know, we had went with white girl before we you know what I'm saying, went out to the event and shit like that. So I'm, you know, super lit because, you know, I was with white girl. So, you know, when she says that, I'm like, what did you say? And then it was like an awkward moment because they're like, everybody pauses. And I'm like, it wouldn't have been that awkward if it was like, that's why I said, like, there has to be some other energy that's been talked about with me or da-da-da. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. But it's like, it was just a different moment because I didn't hear what she said. So I was like, what'd you say? And it was like, oh, I said you're a cunt. Da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought you said that I was high, you know what I'm saying? And then she was like, and I was like, because I am. I don't know. It was awkward. Maybe because I'm just fucking awkward. I don't fucking know, but it was just awkward because I didn't hear her say that I was cunt. Like, I just didn't know. So then we were walking to basically this, go back to our hotel so she can get ready. And Gator, I'm like, man, Gator, like, I was like, it's just crazy because, like, I feel a type of way. And she's like, what? Why you feel a type of way? And I was like, because you don't ever see any of my mentions. Like, I'm praising you. Like, I think you were so talented. Da, da, da. She was like, wait, what's your handle? Da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I take accountability. Maybe she truly just did it, but it's like, it's very hard for me to believe. You know what I mean? Like, this is very hard for me to believe. Like, at the end of the day, I can be many things, but I'm just not dumb. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe she didn't see my handles all the times that I've mentioned her when we have 70 mutual followers and I'm dating your fucking friend. Like, what? That's literally insane, but okay, let's give it that. You know what I mean? Let's give it that. So, so basically she basically like she goes back into the hotel. She has to go get ready with her team. So we're already dressed, you know what I'm saying, for the event. So we're downstairs waiting in the lobby. Boy toy comes down there. We're all talking, and he's telling us about how his first time perceiving like Hollywood shit and people being weird and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's realizing like the Hollywood shit and like the status shit and all that shit. And he's talking to us about it. And so then we come down, like we're waiting, mind you, we're waiting this whole time, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all going to be leaving together. So then her assistant comes into the room and she was like, yeah, we don't have room for them. So I don't know what to do. Da-da-da. We don't have room for them. And then she like leaves. And so then that's when he was like, you see, that's that shit I was just talking about. That's what Boy Toy says, her boyfriend at the time. Da-da-da. And then they come back in the room like, oh, it's so cool. You're gonna just ride in this van. Da-da-da. So we all get in the back of like, I think Boy Toy ended up riding with us. I think I don't really know how we rode together. Yeah, because Boy Toy was with us, and then what's her name was with her team in the other van or some shit. So we all get to the venue. Mind you, we're like going backstage. Now listen, pay attention, y'all. We get to we finally we get our little passes, backstage passes, whatever. So we get to the back. As soon as we get into the warehouse of where the venue was being, I immediately, as soon as I get in, there's a whole bunch of people over in yonder. I immediately see Potato. Okay, yes, Potato was in New fucking York City at the same time that I was in, and she was performing at the same event that I was at. Mind you, I haven't seen her since 2018. We didn't talk since 2020. You feel me? This 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it's just the universe, just even that whole thing was weird. I could not see physically. I couldn't see all the way because I had neat glasses, but it was like what it felt like was that we both like I can't say I locked eyes with her because I didn't lock eyes, but we both peeped one another because the girl did not stop staring as we were walking down the whole different pathway about to go downstairs. She was staring in our direction like she was staring at me, and I'm like, you know, if I was blocked, how does she know? Because I had cut my hair. This is when I went bald in 2021. I cut my hair. Like, so how do you know if I'm blocked and you don't know anything about my life? You don't know anything about me. How do you know it's me? Why did you stare? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you stare? Sorry. But Gator was already up inside. She was already downstairs. You know what I'm saying? When we were walking and shit, you literally, but we were both looking. I'm watching her because she had the two little things. I'm watching her like watch me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just interesting. It's just very interesting because she peeped that I was there and I peeped that she was there, and that was just so fucking weird and wild in my universe. You know what I'm saying? So then we get downstairs and, Gator is doing the final touch ups to her outfit, da da da. So then her assistant comes in and she was like, "Hey, I really want to apologize for the way I said, we didn't have a car for you, da da da." Like she was talking to me and da da da. She's like, da da da, blah blah blah. And I was like, it's okay. Like I understand, like you're under a lot of pressure, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. And then that's when I met Sunny, which was the dancer, and we compared our 777 tattoo, and it was just a really cool vibe, whatever. But this is also when I acknowledged that I wasn't being myself, because I wanted to tell Gator, like, her outfit was so fucking phenomenal. Like, it was I was like, I wanted to tell her that. But because I'm so fearful of embarrassing my girlfriend, I was so reserved. I wasn't like as vocal. And then also, not only that though, I was also apprehensive because I didn't want to seem like I'm super thirsty, because you were never replying back to me. Every time that I message you, you never reply back to me. Every time I mention you or give you praise, you never reply back to me. So it's like, this whole fucking artist culture and etiquette. Like, it's just such a lot. Like, this industry culture, and like, you don't want to come across as being a thirsty bitch, but it's like you want to showcase how enamored you are by the people, but you just never know. You can't in this world, man. You can't, because then you're gonna be a thirsty bitch, or you're gonna be this and that, and it affects the psyche. It affects how people navigate. You feel me? It just affects a lot of shit. So anyway, and then also, me being with the white girl, I'm being even more observant and more in my head and more this, and you know what I'm saying? And so like, this is the time when they was they was with white girl too, you feel me? Boy Toy and Gator, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think we all were just at different places internally, mentally, and it just affected the way that our interactions went. Okay. So she performs and she does good. Then when she gets done performing, like, I'm like in the back, you know what I'm saying? Now mind you, I see Potato like eyeing me from like afar or whatever, but I say nothing to her. I don't say anything to her. Da, da, da. And so when Gator gets off and she's done performing, she comes down, and like, I wanted to like hug her and like, oh my gosh, that was so good. But like, I didn't do anything because I don't know, like, first of all, I just never know how to move with certain people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I touch you, you're going to pull away from me, it's just all these different things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't do anything. So then you could tell on her face, it was like, okay, well, shit, let me walk over here because you're not saying anything. But it's like, I didn't know that, like, it's just fucked up. Like, the mental is fucked up with social anxiety and the different things that affect you and all these different things. And also, being with white girl, like, that affects you, like, all of these different things affect you. And so like, that, even that small interaction could have been such a different experience, but I didn't even, whatever. So she just turned around and like walked away. So I'm sitting there basically, and this, she's done performing. There's other performers, what? So I'm there talking to, I meet a whole bunch of different people. Everybody loves my outfit. Random people are trying to take photos and videos of me. And it's like, somebody asked me if I'm performing. It was just so many different, like, really loving vibes, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm just sitting there just enjoying the moment and just enjoying everybody. I see fucking Potato, like, looked like she was about to, like, she was walking towards my location, but she was like looking at her, like, through her like peripheral. Like, it was weird. I saw her through my peripheral, and I seen her just kind of like stare at me walking, but she never said anything to me. So then I saw her and Gator meet each other, and then Potato performed her song Vacation, and for some reason I just cannot listen to that song. I mean, I did when it first came out, listen to it a lot, and I loved that song, but like, it makes me feel a type of way, because I'm just like, I don't know, it makes me feel a type of way. So she performed that song, and I had to walk away from the performance, and it's whatever. Like, I just had to get off that, you know what I'm saying? So basically, that was that night. The next night, we ended up, wanting to just go out and enjoy the New York or whatever. So, we come back. We go back to our hotel. That night, the next night, we go back to their hotel that they're staying at, Boy Toy and Gator. When we get there, I had bought basically a bunch of white girls to play with. A bunch, okay? And so which is really crazy because like I am not even like I don't really like, what I'm saying? But so anyway. So we were there, and so then all three of them, Boy Toy, Gator, and my ex, they was enjoying a lot of white girl. They was like, they did a huge line dance with the white girls, like huge line dances. And I just, bumped the little white girl for a little bit, like me, my little baby self, you know what I'm saying? But they did some good line dances with the white girl, okay? I just did a little bump or whatever. So basically this is the night that I was just like, oh, so fucking annoying. Okay, so because we're basically about to go to Brooklyn, and like Little Italy is in Brooklyn, I believe. And so we're passing, and I didn't even know, mind you, I'm on vacation. This is my first time being in New York fucking city. New York fucking city. This is my first time. So I'm like, like, and I already have a childlike spirit. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm trying to have my mom live vicariously through me and da 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 da. And so I'm basically, this is New York City, so I'm excited to just experience being in the city. And we went to Little Italy for the first time, and there was a fucking parade in Little Italy, and like all these vendors and like just create like just oh my fucking God, the food trucks and everything in New York fucking city, Italian sausages and like Little Italy, like stop. So I'm like just kind of trying to enjoy myself, whatever. So Boy Toy and Gator, they're like walking up, and they're like walking. And so I'm sitting here, I'm walking at a slower pace because I want to enjoy the moment. And like fucking my ex-girlfriend is getting on me because she's like, we're about to lose them. And I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck if we lose them. I want to enjoy this. Like, you should be like wanting to enjoy this with me. But that's what I'm saying. She was such a lapdog, like thirsty over there. Oh, it was just so, I hated it. I hated that whole time, bro. I fucking hated just her, who she was, like with that whole experience, like just so pressed, like, oh God, it was just so annoying. Oh my God. But anyway, so it's like I'm sitting here, I don't give a fuck about if they walk up or not, and she's getting mad at me because like we're losing them, like ew. Like it was so annoying. Anyway, so like that was that. Like during we walked through Little Italy, like I'm just doing my own thing at this one time. So then we went to this like this little store to get some money at the ATM, and so then because we needed cash for something, I forgot what it is. I was like, okay, well I'll just take out 200 so that we can just have it for us. If you need it, you could just pay it back or cash at me. And she was like, okay, well I'll take out 200 too. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, or I think I said like 300, but she like, what I said, this is Gator. What I said, Gator like doubled it. And she was like, okay, I'll just take this out. And I'm like, it's just, what do girls be doing sometimes? Like, what is the issue? What is the issue? Like, it was so weird. Like, why did you even say, oh, I'm gonna take out this double amount, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't fucking know, but it was just fucking weird. Like, because she had to buy something because I think one of her jacket or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Also, prior, I meant to tell you, like, before we even went out, when we came to meet them at the hotel, they were arguing, you know what I'm saying? And, like, it was just a lot. So, anyway, I don't know why I said that. That had nothing to do with anything. But I think I wanted to just give maybe an understanding for if her energy was already a little off-putting, because they were already like, but they were good at that point, so that really doesn't matter. So anyway, so we go for it. So then, we all party with white girls, so we all kind of, feeling pretty lit. You feel me? And so now we get to the fucking venue where the clubs are at or some shit, or the house parties or whatever. And so, there's like this party, like this, like it's like rave kind of party, and then we're in there, and like I'm sitting up on a ledge, and then I'm just like chilling. Now, mind you, anytime I go even to any events or anything like that, I usually never am the person to like start the party. I'm not the one to start, because I suffer from social anxiety. Like I'm not even in the full state of being awareness, because I'm with my girlfriend who really doesn't like me, like, or whatever the fuck. But and then I'm with, I'm with foreigners. I'm not even with people who are my people. So it's like, I'm not about to just be the lit part starting the party. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not. I've never been that. You feel me? So, at the first place we go there, I'm sitting on the ledge, and like, we're all kind of compacted in this area. And then, what's the name? Gator is trying to dance on Boy Toy, and Boy Toy is like, because it was a gay place too, and Boy Toy is bisexual. So Boy Toy was like focused on the niggas that was like walking by. He was like, "Yo, you so cute," and like, I'm seeing Gator like dancing, and he's like turning around. I'm like, "Yo, let me stand where you at for real." Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I wasn't, that was just that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just sitting here. When I party with white girl, I literally am super aware. Like, I see everything. I just become even more aware than I usually am. Okay. So I was super aware. I'm just like peeping all this shit. I'm just like playing it out in a movie. You know what I'm saying? And now, and so like there was one point of the night where we were still at that thing, and I think like she stood on the thing to like dance, and I think I was like looking at her, because I'm like, I wanted to get up and dance with her, but I didn't know if that, I didn't want to, like, what, when you deal with being in your head so much, like, I didn't know, like, oh, if I get up on there, am I copying her? You know what I'm saying? If I get up on her, am I crowding her space? So, in her mind, she could be looking at me, and I'm like looking at her, and she's like, damn, why is this bitch staring at me? You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm high, and I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm going through the different decisions. You know what I'm saying? This part of either my autism or whatever. Okay? So then we go basically to another club that was like next door or some shit. And this was a little bit more, it wasn't a lot of people, so it was more close knit. So like I sat down. My first thing was to sit down. I sat down, you know what I'm saying? My girlfriend, she wanted to dance, and she kept trying to get me to dance, but I was just not in the space of dancing. Like, I just didn't, and I just wasn't in the space of dancing, especially at that particular part. Like, I don't know if the anxiety was just getting too much to me, or like I just was like at a space of like I just didn't dance. You know what I'm saying? But Gator, she was sitting down as well. You know what I'm saying? And maybe in the subconscious of my mind, I believe that parts of me probably thought maybe we could use this moment to connect and like try to talk and like connect, but she wasn't even paying attention. Like, she was like on her phone, just like on her phone the whole night, just on her phone. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't getting up and dancing because I wasn't just in the space. Mind you, you got to remind you yourself. Let me tell you, it's like 4:00 in the morning. Okay. It's not like this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the night has been happening. These parties in New York don't end till, I mean, we did not get home. I remember that day. We did not get home till 7 a.m., which was really cool too when you think about it. But it was just like, we did not get home till like 7 a.m. Okay. So then there was a point in time where we kept switching back and forth to the parties. At this point, I'm like, yo, I feel weird. Let's stay right here. Me and my girl, I'm telling my girlfriend, like, let's stay right here and like be right here and like let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Let them go. Then Boy Toy Boy Toy kept saying like, y'all, what the fuck, what y'all doing? Why y'all keep staying over there? Like, come over here. And I'm like, I think that Gator wants to be alone, like, or she wants to just enjoy things with you guys. Like, we don't have to be up under each other. You know what I'm saying? But see, Boy Toy was trying to be like a friend group, like we should have been. But I think Gator was trying to be on some, I'm trying to go this way or whatever. Or maybe now that I'm thinking about it, just because I have clairvoyance, like, I think she didn't want to peep the realness of what was going on in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I was aware of like him flirting with all these other guys, and like, she wanting his energy, And this makes a lot of sense to me, but at the end of the day, I truly don't know. You know what I'm saying? She could have just been weirded out by me, you know what I'm saying? Because I was sitting there, she was sitting there, and I didn't do anything, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I didn't say anything either. Like, I didn't try to make conversation, because it's like, how am I going to try to make conversation when you don't seem receptive, you know? But also, I didn't try either. So that's why I say we never even got a chance to talk about these things. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, my thing just popped up. But yeah, we just never got a chance to talk about these things. Okay, so that was that, and it was just, yeah. Okay, basically finished with this fucking thing. Okay, so maybe I can make this one story, but anyway, like, that was just that time, and that was my experience that I had with Gator. After that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, we stayed in New York. Me and my ex were really rocky, you know what I'm saying? We ended up breaking up in February 2022 because she was talking shit to me, to the same people that she was trying to befriend so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, I took my ex to Thanksgiving with my family, and she was talking about my family. I found text messages of her talking about me and my family, and just so disrespectful to the barely legal, who she was just getting friends with. It's not like they were super close and friends. Like, she was just trying to build a relationship with them, and it's just crazy. I found them text messages, bro. That shit was wild. And even on Christmas, she know this was my first Christmas without my mother. She was like, oh, she was with barely legal, and the guy from barely legal or whatever, and it's like, she did not give a fuck about me. Like, that girl did not give a fuck about me. It's just crazy. But so so that was that time in New York. We came back from New York, and me and my ex were still rocky. It was a lot of different shit. There's a mosquito here trying to get me, bro. He fucking got me already. But we were rocky and shit. It's just because I have my window open. And so it was just a lot of different energies that happened, and we just weren't at the greatest spaces. Then we broke up, but I would still mention Gator from time to time, and I would like express like my adoration for her and things like that. Never would she respond. Okay, so then me and my ex break up in 2022, and the way it happened, I was belligerent. I was belligerent. I was fucking teed the fuck off, bro. I was mad as fuck because she was dogging me out in her fucking messages, and like just being weird. Sorry. My titties are so big, it's busting out of my fucking shirt. So anyway, yeah. So she was dogging me out, and I was mad as hell. And remember, therapy, Twitter. So yeah, and that's when I went the fuck off on Twitter, and I dogged her out. And it was not. I shouldn't have did it in that way. I should never do anything in that way. Even when I was talking about pop potato and all my ex friends and stuff like that, like, there could have been a better way for me to do it, but I laid everything the fuck out, and I blocked her on everything, and she emailed me talking about, why would you do this to me? Why would you tell her? Blah, 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 like, and so then this is the kicker. Mind you, I was always I was always mentioning Gator, and not always like every single day, but like anytime there would be any project or anything like that, or if anybody gave her praise, I would be like, yo, yes, da da da, I'll mention her. You know what I'm saying? I've had the same fucking handle for 11, 12 years now, so it's like my handle been the same. You feel me? She could never find my message. She could never retweet what I said. Could never say thank you, sis. Never this. Never say anything at all. Why the fuck was she able to find the same day she was able to find my fucking DM? She DM'd me. Oh, we did have some prior DMs before. I'm not gonna lie. Like after we left, you know what I'm saying? We had this chat that I had, and I told them like the next time y'all come, it's gonna be on me. We're gonna do a spa day at my house. Blah, 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 blah. This is what I told Boy Toy and Gator. You know what I'm saying? And we just had like a couple of DMs that way. But she never mentioned me, so it was just weird because like I I don't know, like, it's just you, but you never like publicly acknowledged my compliments or anything like that, which I felt is very weird to me. I don't know. It kept giving. This is the things that I felt. It kept giving that she didn't want her her followers or her people to like engage with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because her manager, like before we left the New York, before we left New York, when we were leaving the event that she performed at, I didn't know he was behind us, and he looked like he wanted me to introduce myself. Like, he kept on, but he was with a girl, so I don't think he was gonna, hey, I'm this person, you know what I'm saying, because he was with a girl, but like, I could see it in his eyes. Like, it was this thing. It was just this feeling in his eyes. But it could have just been God in the universe or whatever. But I didn't introduce myself. But I don't know. But that was her manager. Anyway, I don't know. But it was just so interesting that she could never respond to me public at all. Ever. Never replied. Never retweeted a tweet of mine. Yo, she killed this fucking performance. Like, yo, she's so dope. Never said thank you, sis. Thank you. Like, nothing. Just never replied back to me. But she found my page super quick. This girl said, "Hang it up" to me. She said, "Hang it up. Hang it up." She said, "Hang it up." After me talking about, mind you, she was not there with every single thing I went through with that girl, my ex-girlfriend. Not there at all. You feel me? And she went through a plethora of things with her ex-boyfriend too. So it's like, you don't know what's going on in the dynamic of our relationship, and you have the audacity to just hang it up. And all these other times where I've sent love to you and you can never find my page. You remember you asked me what my handle was, but now it's hang it up. Oh baby, I went off on her. I sent her this whole message about like just you pretending to be this energy, and like, that the reality is like you showcasing this part, but this is the reality. Like, then it's just, I talked a lot of shit. Basically, I said a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have just ignored her. Even though, I mean, what can I like? I don't ignore her like she ignored me, essentially. So then, from that, she blocked me. And basically, now not only am I blocked from Potato, but I'm blocked from Gator. And these are both women who are continuously rising in success within their artistry, which I've always, admired their success in their artistry. But it is hard for me to just be a true fan, because sometimes I used to ask God, like, why didn't you just make me a fan of them? Like, why do I have to know them in even a small amount of way? Like, why did we have acquaintance with one another? Why did Potato have to live with me, and I meet Potato and we have connected? Like, why is my girlfriend's best friend, or a friend that she used to say is fucking Gator? Why, God? Like, why couldn't I have just been a spectator or fucking? Because then that way, if I was an actual fan, I would never know parts of your personality and the truth of your personality, how you really are. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? But now it's like, I have to watch you guys be this loving people to people, and treat people. But it's like, why didn't I get that? Why didn't I receive those versions of you guys? Why didn't I receive those versions of you guys? Like, it just shit, that shit just, it's so hurtful, bro. Like, because it's like, what was it about me that I couldn't receive those versions of you? You feel me? Like, why? And so, not only that, it's like, now these two girls are acquainted with one another. You feel me? And like, now this is when I actually start becoming bitter, because I have a huge attraction for Potato, and I always thought that we had a connection, even despite all the shit that we went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like there was some type of minute connection there, and like, I felt like her attraction, she had an attraction for Gator, because Gator is, I know, and I can't say certain things, but like, Gator has basically been able to attract the life of her dream, like her life. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the slums trying to figure out life, surviving, and mad and upset about what happened to me in the past, and like not getting over it. You feel me? And it's like, which makes me crazy and psychological and all this extra shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's like, but it's still a conundrum because like every time I try to like even elevate, I see a part of them, like they did that interview with Wendell and Wild, the interview with when Gator's song was in that Wendell and Wild thing on Netflix or whatever. From the people who made Coraline, they made that Wendell and Wild, the black girl who lost her parents and shit like that, and her demons or some shit. I don't know, but like they had that interview, and they had this beautiful sister moment, and I'm just looking at this like, damn, like all these times where I felt like I connected in certain ways, you know, or I could have received that energy from you, or where I tried to uplift you when you was telling yourself that you weren't this and you weren't that, and I was like, no, I'm not giving that to you because like that's not the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then Potato in the interview talking about how, you know, she's saying in the interview talking about how like people, you know, you just have to find your people, your tribe, your da da da. What? Like, people do love you. You just have to find people who love you. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole thing. It just felt. I'm like, yo, you're literally experiencing what I felt, the way that you made me feel. That's so crazy to me that you're literally experiencing the way that you made me feel. Like I felt so alone in the people that I was around because like I wasn't connecting. I felt like I couldn't be myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like now you guys have this connection and this friendship and this relationship, and it was just all interesting to me, you know? It's just all interesting to me. And it's just all like, I don't know, you know, from all of this, to sum it all up, you know, I've had a hard time to adapt to the reality of like them not acknowledging the way that they were to me, you know, but I have to take accountability because I became obsessive and I became bitter and trying to get them to acknowledge these parts where it's like that shouldn't have any say on who I am, you know what I mean? But let's be realistic, okay? Let's just be realistic. If you are somebody who lacks skill, they both went to performing arts school, you know, like they were embedded in this reality from the jump. This creative lifestyle, or this idea to make my talents come true through these creative expressions, you know, that all came to me in development through of life in my journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like they were part of my development, and I'm thinking, and that's where I go back to the very beginning where I say I feel like I was entitled, because I was entitled to thinking that they would, you know, befriend me, thinking that they would show me the way to do things, or, you know, be like, peep my talent and be like, yes, sis, yes, this is what you need to do. Let me tell you what to do. Da, 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 da. You know, and it wasn't that. It was completely the opposite. I mean, I was dismissed and blocked, and, you know, like, I don't know. So I think that overall that those two relationships have affected me. And like I said, like, if just you just being honest, like, what do you think that does to the psyche of somebody who wants to pursue music and wants to pursue, you know, a career in creativity, you know, like, and then they're still in spaces where they still gain their credentials and gain, you know, success, and that's so beautiful for them. And I like, literally, when I see, because I don't follow them, or I stopped going and looking at things that I don't no longer need to see, but like when I would see it, like it would literally warm my heart. And I'm telling you, that's why, like, I hope that you feel my genuinity within these messages, and that's why I said every single thing, even parts of my vulnerability and my embarrassment, like me being obsessive. And, you know, there were times where I was homeless, and I'm like, I really needed help, and I was sending messages, like, because, you know, one pair of their shoes could have saved one of me paying my rent. You feel me? Like, one pair of Potato shoes that she probably bought, that, you know what I'm saying? So like, I was sending messages even after all this shit that I went through with them, which is also psychotic and like insane, because like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? But in my head, I'm thinking like one day that these girls are going to realize like who they were towards me in this situation. And, you know, I used to feed Potato. Like, we didn't have any food and I would conjure up something to make sure that she ate. You know what I'm saying? I took her to rehearsals. I let you stay in my house. Like, I would listen. I stayed up late, listen to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, listen to your mixtapes and listening to you talk about your situations in college and your friends and how you told me how your friends, sometimes you feel like your friends don't get you and blah blah and blah blah blah. Like, I listened to all of that, and like, but now I'm resulted to this obsessive, bitter hater girl. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, it's just crazy. So, but you know, I just want to apologize. Like, if they do, you know, I don't know if they'll ever see this, you know, but I want to apologize for the role that I played in the downfall of our connection, you know, like, for me to even be so obsessive and constantly, you know, try to get you guys to realize how I felt and talk about our situations and our experiences constantly, you know. I'm sorry to myself, number one, but I'm also sorry to you and sorry to even do all of that. You know, I'm just sorry for all of that, and I'm sorry for the way that I portrayed myself. You feel me? And I just hope I can be forgiven in that. You feel me? But you know, I feel like this video is just long overdue. I feel like I really, really needed to express this story and talk about why I felt the ways that I felt and how things came to play, you know. Um, but like I said, I know that this was a lot, but I feel like this video was long overdue. And it gave myself a space to truly express my experiences and take accountability and how my actions have affected me negatively. And this is very healing for me. You know, like, I work hard every single day on healing myself and the traumas of the experiences that I've experienced. And I'm hoping that one day, you know, if we ever do see each other in the future, that we can just have a good rapport. You feel me? And like, just maybe see eye to eye in this particular experience, and maybe like, I don't know, you know, just take accountability, like truly take accountability. And I take accountability for who I've been, and you know how I just didn't portray myself in the proper way, in the best way that I could have, you know, with these experiences. And hopefully one day they will either see this video or even if they don't, like, it's just more so like, if we ever connect in the future, you know, I'm just hoping that we can come to terms with our experience with one another, because I know I'm not fucking crazy. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not crazy, and I'm not psycho for feeling the ways that I feel, you know. Maybe been overbearing, maybe too much, you know, and a bit obsessive with expressing these parts of my journey. But I just feel like, you know, I needed to get this out and I needed to express these things. And if you listen to this entire video, I really appreciate you, because I know this shit was mad fucking long. But yeah, you know, I think that everything happens for a reason, and that's a strong belief that I feel. So yeah. As a closing message, I just want to say thank you to everybody who truly watched this entirety of this video and stayed with me with all my, you know, going in tangents and everything like that. And um, if you have any feedback or you have any questions or want me to go into detail about anything in a future video, or you want to leave a comment and, you know, maybe see where I really truly was wrong in my own behavioral patterns and how I handled everything, you know, please leave a comment below. Please make sure you subscribe and share the video, and you know, just engage with me, because I appreciate everybody who engages with me. And I thank you for, you know, staying here and listening to this message and listening to this experience, and just kind of gaining some insight to why I did what I did and who I was, you know. Like I said, I'm very spiritual, and I believe we all are connected in a deeper way than just us being one. You feel me? Like, you know, I do think we are truly all reflections of one another, you know. And it doesn't mean that we're the exact same, but we have the ability to relate to one another if we truly take that understanding in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I feel like I've had a specific curated journey within even me as developing into the artist that I am and I'm growing into every single day, you know, and just meeting certain people and connecting with certain energies and things like that. And, you know, initially I had hoped it to be a different type of connection, but I realized that, you know, there was a lot of unhealed trauma within like my past relationships, not just romantic, but platonic as well. And how that kind of rippled over into crippled, like whatever the word is, but it trickled over into the relationship that I experienced with these two women and how that has affected me going forward. But yeah, I just, hopefully I was, you know, as thorough as possible. I feel like when I watch this back and like I'm editing, I'm going to probably remember certain things that I want to add and say. But if you have any questions, please leave a comment below and make sure you subscribe and then watch out for my next video. Just stay tuned for more Morenike Speaks videos. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you for staying with me and with all of my fucking mess ups with my fucking speech and articulation and all that shit. Like, I appreciate you. So yes, thank you for watching Morenike Speaks and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.